Hey everyone, welcome to Creator Recaps. Today we will be recapping episode 28 of Critical Role Campaign 3 with Bells Hells. The episode is titled The Deathwish Run. Beware of spoilers and let's get racing. Last time our band of intrepid adventurers were in Bassuras, in search of Armand Trashy, who is on the run. They found him hiding in the Seat of Disdain. In order to safely extract him, the party expressed interest to General Ratanish in joining forces. They met the leader of Paragon Skull, who challenged them to the Deathwish race. Tomorrow, Birdie Calloway is to meet the party at Joe's, but first, they have a race to survive. Their own crawler is piloted by Ashton with Imogen in the back. The crawler they loaned is piloted by Chetney with Laudna in the back. They glue fresh-cut grass to the front as the front wheel minutes before they depart. Orem and Dusk go to the second part of the race, the ravine, to try and steal another crawler. Fern tries to hop on one of the other crawlers as a squirrel, but gets noticed and shot where everybody can see it, so more eyes on her for the time being. She ends up basically laying low until the end of the race. Imogen takes the bomb with her on the crawler, hoping nothing bad happens. She notices a figure in the distance, the woman from her dreams. Imogen snaps out of it. She needs to focus. Dust fills the air as the crawlers kick off. The spellcasters try their best to make the competition useless immediately, while FCG summons Guardian Turtle Shells. Appropriate for the race, I'd say. Before they are out of the skids, that's part 1 of the race, Imogen blasts the crawler in front with a lightning bolt.
How do you want to do this?
What does that mean? To what? To the vehicle?
To what?
To both of them in the vehicle, just like kind of describe to me how you damage everything there.
My eyes flash white and a lightning bolt arcs from my hand. Straight. I want it to go straight through this guy's chest, down into his chest, and then out the front of the vehicle here.
You got it.
Then we get to the ravine. Orem and Dusk jump on one of the rides and blast the people riding it off. Dusk can only just hang on as Orem holds them flopping along the side, but they do make it. On the other side of the race, Imogen blinds a frightened driver until he goes off the cliff. Afterwards, the riders and the last remaining crawler go into a dark cave. They start fighting with the light that they have, and then FCG turns on his headlights. Okay, see what he did there. Now the last team is stuck between 3 bloodthirsty racing cars, and Ashton uses his gravity well to slam the last crawler, and they get there next.
How do you want to do this? This is the actual skirmish crawler, not the people. You've done enough damage to the vehicle that the vehicle is now destroyed.
I'm gritting my teeth and I just concentrate and I squeeze, and the black and white gray tones just briefly just pulse out of me onto the car, which suddenly just stops. Like a just a piece of lead.
It's a full speed to just stationary rock. Slams into it, and what you see the vehicle crumple up. The gravity is so intense that there's minimal damage to your vehicle. But what you do see is splintered shards of shrapnel as the crawler is suddenly burst into hundreds of pieces from the momentum that it was carrying, smashing into what was essentially a boulder of gravity. And the driver and the passenger are also scattered in the impact of being shredded by the shrapnel of the vehicle around them.
All competitors are gone, but no respite for the group, as a mean beast rears up and tries to eat them all. Chetney wolfs out and leaves the steering to Laudna. Orem makes the beast trip, and because of the speed of the crawlers, this is a race after all, it stays behind enough for the group to zoom past. Dusk makes sure it can't follow by causing a cave-in when they get out of there. Yet after the climb up the ravine, it reappears in front of them. Laudna, who is already very bloody from the race, tells both FCG and Chetney to get ready in case she dies, and one bite later she falls unconscious. FCG gets to use his grapple gun to try and save both of his friends from certain doom. Ashton rides in with his crawler and finishes off the beast, when Dusk jumps on the crawler with Laudna and heals her, then moves back to his vehicle. Fern, having kept busy at the finish line stealing other people's stuff, sees the riders arrive in a dust cloud. Then the last hurdle appears, huge spikes and spears aiming for the riders incoming. Fern tries to use her telekinesis ring to pull it aside and creates a bigger gap, but it's too heavy for her to really make a difference. Orem and Laudna's crawler squeeze through, but Ashton and Imogen crash their crawler inside of the finish line. In the end, the group wins the race and they all survive. After all, that was the most important. Ratanish and Otohan come to speak to them. Otohan seems hardly impressed, but tells them training will start in a few days. The crew celebrate a bit, but try to let Joe take FCG out of the lone crawler as fast as possible. FCG and Ashton stay in his workshop for the night as there's still a lot to do. Fresh cut grass is not built for crawler racing. Orym and Imogen thank Dusk for risking his life to save Laudna. And as Laudna and Dusk start talking about the night before again, Imogen starts to dive into Dusk's mind. However, she finds that his mind is completely blank. The leftover crew go for drinks. Chetney gets closer to Dusk, telling him he knows that there's a bounty on the Callaways, and if he needs help, he's willing to do it. Dusk tries to convince Chetney that's not the case, but Chetney has already made up his mind. Fern and Dusk talk about Chetney telling him that, but eventually bond over the time Dusk spent with her parents, and they fall asleep together in a cuddle. In the night, Imogen tries to pry into Dusk's mind again, but to no avail. Nothing in there reacts to her. In the morning, a crawler arrives at Joe's with a fawn entering the shop. She tells Ashton to call for Joe with the name Birdie. Fern walks in a bit later and the two of them have a weird reunion. Birdie believes it has been 6 years when Fern says it's 90. Fern tries to direct attention to Dusk as he has lived with Birdie for far longer, but Birdie doesn't recognize Dusk at all.
The tattoo on my arm springs to life, a roiling, crashing ocean. And as the waves break, they splinter off into geometric patterns that multiply and divide. They crawl up my arm, over the shoulder, across the neck, engulf my face. All of the geometric shapes drain of color and instead take on an opalescent rainbow hue, like an oil slick on the choppy waters. Not an absence of color, but all of them at once. And as the waves smooth and soften, you see that my form has changed. I'm taller, I'm all wiry muscle and taut angles. My face, sharper features that only rhyme with the soft, delicate ones that you knew. I snap my fingers, my clothes turn inside out, and there's black robes of silk and leather with gold patterns that match and mirror the tattoos. I close my eyes. When I open them again, you stare into dark, inky voids swirling with galaxies.
At this point, Birdie, who's holding your hand, steps back and just kind of looks back at you briefly.
I grab both of them.
No. No, no, no. No.
You led them right to us.
Oh yes, a well thought out plan. DMs, please do not do this in your own game. It's really bad for the group, but in a drama show, it's amazing. I cannot wait what the story is with him. Do you have any ideas? Let me know. And hit the like button while you're at it to get condensed Critical Role episodes handily delivered to you. Watch Critical Role on YouTube or Twitch on Thursdays, 7 PM Pacific, or any of the rebroadcasts for other time zones.
Wait, what are you?
I did not know that.
That is...
Oh my god!
Yeah, what the hell?
Nom 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 nom.